Good afternoon, brothers. JK, your brother in the struggle here. On my way back from the gym as usual. Today I am answering a question from one of the brothers in our Reboot implementation group. But I'm sharing it everywhere because it is relevant. The question is, what do I do when I'm going on long vacations or when I am traveling or moving to a place for a long period of time? How do I manage my reboot in these circumstances? So I'm going to be talking about that. Now, I'm going to actually address primarily married men and men who are in committed relationships. We have a lot of men like that in our program, and this is relevant. When you travel, first thing you have to do is be aware of your reboots. This simply means that sometimes when we're going on vacations, not even vacations, when we're going on, let me adjust my mirror here, when we're going on business trips as well, it's very easy to be caught up in all the business trip stuff and the vacation stuff, and to just totally forget that you spent weeks and months building up this wonderful schedule that keeps you self-aware, that helps you manage your urges, that you have this great accountability system in the program. It's very easy to forget that and sometimes think that, I'm going to prioritize my vacation or my business trip because, I'm spending money for it, I'm traveling across the country or across the world for it. But I want you guys to remember one of the basic principles of Born Reboot, which is that everything in your life during the time that you're rebooting needs to revolve around your reboot, not the other way around. Your reboot cannot revolve around your business. Your reboot cannot revolve around your relationship. You have to pick something from your reboot and you have to prioritize that, whether that be the morning routine, whether that is a certain aspect of the system, maybe showing up to live calls, getting on calls regularly with your accountability partners, putting time aside to meditate, to journal, to fill out our worksheets, to fill out your reboot baseline, find out your reboot baseline, check in on it, fill out your reboot planner. These are very important. So that's the first thing. Stay aware of your reboot. The next thing is plan ahead. A few things you can do to plan ahead are setting up a time to call your accountability partners and check in with them. So let them know that your schedule might be changing for a short while or a long while, and that during the first couple of days, you know that you're going to be at risk for a slip. Of course, it's dependent on where you are in your reboot, but we don't want to take that risk. Let them know, like, hey guys, I'm staying at a hotel and I'm away from my wife and we have all these conferences, and in the evening everybody goes out to drink, and I don't want to do that, or I do want to do that, but I want to control myself. So I want to have like a 10 p.m. curfew. I still want to, mingle with my colleagues, but I don't want to mingle with them to the point or drink to the point that I start making bad decisions. So let them know that at 10 p.m., Pacific Standard Time or whatever time zone you're in, you're going to hit them up and let them know, hey guys, was at the bar with a couple of colleagues after the conference, heading back to my hotel room right now, and I will send you guys a screenshot of my wins, right? If you have some sort of evening routine. That's one thing. Keep in touch with your accountability partners. The next thing is, this might sound a little bit cheesy, but it worked for me. Bring along a framed picture of your spouse. All right, so bring along a framed picture of your spouse and place it literally right next to your bedstand, wherever you're staying. If you're staying in an Airbnb, if you're staying in one of these places, so put it right there so that you can see, if you're in a relationship, that okay, this is someone who is important to me. For those of you who use our checklists, the different checklists, I would recommend printing a couple of them out and having them on hand, not on your phone, not in a digital format, but actually in a physical format. Another thing is getting on a call with your coach or your therapist prior to the trip. I think it's very important to do this because sometimes a trained third party can unearth or bring to light certain ideas that your addict sub-personality might have, right? You might uncover them, some plans you might have. Maybe you even have some fears. This might be the first time that you're traveling during your reboots, right? So this is something to bear in mind. Another thing with planning ahead is making sure that you will not fall victim to any environmental triggers. Now, this is easier said than done, but here are a couple of things that you can do right away. If you're staying at a hotel, you can, in most hotels, at the front desk, tell them to literally just disconnect the cable or cancel the adult channels, because typically what you will watch in a hotel are not things you're going to watch at home on regular TV, right? Because you're in vacation mode. Even if you're at a conference, when you come back, when you're relaxing and vegging out, it's so easy to turn on that TV. I can't remember the last time I turned on a TV in a hotel. And I lived in hotels for many years when I was building up my sales organization years ago. I just no longer saw the TV. It just became invisible to me at a certain point. That would be the first thing. The same applies to Airbnbs. I've had a lot of clients go on hunting trips. I've had a lot of them go on trips with the boys. And it just so happened that the room that they were in had a television that had, what's the word for it? Had cable and had access to some risque channels. So you want to make sure that that stuff is disconnected if you are in an Airbnb, like literally unplug the television. The same thing goes with environment. Some of you who act out physically, who go to massage parlors, who meet women typically on trips, and this is the first time that you're going on a trip while you're rebooting. You want to be very aware of the places where you go. So if you drive past a massage parlor and you suddenly notice, wow, why is it that my addict sub-personality, something in my subconscious, like I feel, well, not something in my subconscious, I wouldn't be able to be aware of it. Why is it that my addict sub-personality was able to pick up on that? Why am I suddenly seeing these things? Why do I feel as if I'm scanning for these things? You have to be very, very aware when you are in a new environment, because sometimes there's a spike in adrenaline and dopamine because you're out of your regular city, you're in a new place, everything looks new and exciting, and your brain is quite naturally soaking it up. But because of that increase in dopamine, which you've not been used to, so the only time you have a significant increase in dopamine, particularly early in your reboot, is when you are slipping while you're in the program, right? So you're still learning how to release adequate and healthy amounts of dopamine, but now you're releasing dopamine on a more consistent basis because you're in a new exciting environment. Just be wary, because your nervous system is going to pick up on that and go like, oh, more dopamine? Does this mean it is porn time? Is it jerking off time? So I would say, please be aware of that and pay special attention to that. What else? Pulling up right now. Oh yeah, one last thing. So if you're going to stay in a place for a long period of time, let's say I'm moving to a new place, I recommend that for the first 2 weeks you decide, before you go, you decide what you're going to do for the first 2 weeks in terms of self-care, in terms of a social life. A lot of times it's very important to establish yourself in a new place, right? So find a place where a gym that you're going to go to, find a place where you can be social. It could be a dance class or something. Find something regular to do so you don't end up isolating yourself, because this typically happens and it quickly leads to that loneliness and that lack of intimacy. So you've got to move on that. Those of you who are in the Reboot Implementation or Intensive group, take advantage of it, the group itself, and let guys know what you're doing. Have some encouragement from brothers in the group when it comes to stepping out of your comfort zone. So I hope that answered the question. it's a little bit rushed because it's the commute from my gym back home. I hope that answered the question of what some of the things that you can do with your reboots when you are going on a long vacation away, when you're going to be away for a long time. I'm JK, your brother in the struggle. Thank you so much for watching this video. Listen, if you're not part of our free group yet, you really should become a part of it. We have professional men in there, men who are serious about their reboots. This is not any no-fap, semen retention, fucking bullshit, okay? This is a group where men are following a system that has been used for 10 fucking years. Guys, 10 years. We're not fucking dabblers, right? You don't see us up in here talking about dating, 5 tips to get her on the fucking text, how to look good in your dating profile, how semen retention will help you do all this fucking shit that's out there. No, we do one thing. We help men end their out of control behavior with porn and masturbation in 90 days. Simple. One lane, one thing. Join our Porn Reboot group. It's a free group, and there's a link to it in the description below. I'll see you there.